seen me recently, but it's been a while. On my end, I've moved country. I'm in Scotland. If you hear bagpipes in the background, no, it's not me being really weird and just overlaying this with bagpipe music. They play bagpipes in the town square every afternoon. And I had hoped to miss it to film, but my kids have just gone out to the park. My husband's just taking the kids out, and it has coincided with bagpipe time. So if you hear bagpipes, I'm not being weirdly like, look, I'm in Scotland. It literally is just bagpipes. I'm playing outside. But hi everyone. It's been a minute since I checked in. I have no idea how I'm gonna do this vlog, but it was gonna be a moving vlog, and as you'd expect, moving was a lot. It was rather stressful. It's all good, like it was good stresses, but it is a lot, you know. We needed to sort out where we were gonna live. I needed to register the kids for school because we actually missed the usual registration window because we didn't have accommodations yet in the right window, so we had to make sure that we ensured that my kids are in the right school. We planned a lot of where we were living based on the school we're putting our kids in, and we are really delighted with the school that they're in. So that has made everything lovely. We've been to some gorgeous parks around here. Our favourite park has a stunning view of the castle. From there's a green where the kids play football and you can see the castle on the hill from there. It's stunning. I am absolutely thrilled to be here. I love this city already. I loved it from the moment I got here. When we came on holiday, I knew this is where I wanted to be, and ever since then, every single time I step out the house, I'm proven right. My parents helped us move over. They came with us and then they headed back, not yesterday, the day before. So it's just us now. We're just here in our new city, and I know this is a book channel, so I won't ramble on too much about the life update. I know that some of you already know because you're in my Discord and stuff, but it's been lovely. We've been having a lovely time. I've been to some bookshops, of course I have, mostly focusing on the important things like getting homeware and stuff like that, but I have bought myself a decent chunk of books. I had birthday money and I have not been shy with it. So I'll go through the books that I've bought, then we'll talk a little bit about the books that I've been reading during this process. And yeah, I have no idea what this vlog is actually going to entail. We'll kind of have to play it by ear. We still don't have internet at the time of filming this. Obviously by the time it's uploaded, we will have Wi-Fi. I'm not uploading this on my mobile data. The very first books that I bought were ones that were just in the works because I don't think I've ever experienced brand new books for a fiver in Spain. So I saw books that were on my list for a fiver and I thought, well, I can't pass those up. So that's what these are. We have Arcana Academy by Elise Cover. I've not read Elise Cover before. Just before moving, I did participate in the tarot readathon, and I know that a lot of people were saying that if you're into tarot, this is quite a good one. I haven't read the synopsis, but of course I am reading this for the plot. The plot being him and her. But I have heard that it has tarot magic to it, potentially. It's a romantasy, it is dark academia. Can't really go wrong with that, can you? Especially when my brain is goo. For when my brain is not goo, I have catabasis or catabasis, however you want to pronounce it. I love that RF Kong does that a lot. Like, everyone's gonna argue how you pronounce this. This one is another dark academia, but this one is grad students that go into hell to retrieve their PhD professor so that they can finish their PhD. And it's like Dante's Inferno, and I think they fall in love with each other on their way down through hell. I'm really excited to give this a try. I've loved everything I've read by R.F. Kuang so far. A little bit of a gold and black theme going on here as well. Gold and black, but also with red, we have Feybound by Sarah El-Arifi. This one is another romantasy. I think that it's part sapphic, part hetero. We're following two sisters, one of whom is the head of an army, and after a fatal mistake is exiled, and her sister for some reason believes that she's partly to blame for her sister's exile. So then her sister and deputy, I suppose, that was under the other sister, both go in search of her. And we're in a world where fae exist, and we believe that humans and elves are extinct, but then we also encounter the elves. This one will be great for our fantasy because one of the prompts is a non-human protagonist, and obviously at least throughout this one, I believe, we believe that humans are extinct, so there'll be no humans in here at all. Then we went to the cutest cafe. It's going to be where I live henceforth. It's called the Book Nook, and we went there It's a cafe come bookstore. It's gorgeous. They've got new books and secondhand books. So I thought I'd grab some books that I needed. So I bought 4. I've got 2nd, 3rd and 4th of the Paladins, or the whatever, the White Rat series, whatever this series is called. I bought the 2nd, 3rd and 4th in this series there. They didn't have the first one because this is my book club read for throughout summer. I think it also goes into autumn. We read the first one in April. This is the June pick, which, as you can see by the bookmark, today's the 1st of July, guys. I'm never behind, but here we are. This is the June pick. This is the August pick, which would have been nicer in June because it's so short. And this one is the October pick. So we've got until autumn to read through this series. I loved the first one. I'm enjoying the second one. They're all following a group of paladins whose god has died, so they're all a bit listless and just trying to do what they can now that they don't have a god to serve, and it's like individual romances, and I really like them. They're very D&D coded. And the other one that I bought from there is Bromantasy. This is giving El Dorado vibes. For any of you who don't know, The Road to El Dorado is a DreamWorks movie from like the early 2000s, and it's one of my all-time favorite movies. And me and my husband always say, why would we want to strive to be like your typical romantic couple that you get in movies when we both know that we are Miguel and Tulio? Yeah, the tagline, what is it? 2 heroes, 1 brain cell. And like 2 halves of a whole idiot is one of my absolute favorite tropes. So I'm really excited to get to this one as well. And it's queer, so you can't really go wrong with that. I went into Waterstones. I got my membership. I finally got my membership card at Waterstones. I'm so excited. I did get my kids some books as well, but I got myself a book from Waterstones, which was the first of the Paladins books. I have already read this one. As I said, it was my April pick. But I love these so much, like these covers. So I really wanted to own the full set, and they just, how could I not want these to all go together? I am wondering if we enjoy these, if we'll continue with more from World of White Rat, because I think like a lot of her other romantasies are all set in the same world. Like they don't follow the same characters, but they are set in the same world. So I might potentially try and get to those afterwards. But yeah, I really like these ones so far, the one and a bit that I've read. So I also, from Waterstones, I also got a bookmark, mushrooms, and it's got a little mushroom bead on it as well. It's so cute. So yeah, I got that as well. So I got a bookmark and a book from Waterstones. And then the very last thing is J.G. Jones, which is like the newer version of W.H. Smith, or an alternate version of W.H. Smith. Same chain. I don't know if it's like the Scottish version or if W.H. Smith has actually changed to J.G. Jones. I don't know. But our local one is closing down. We've just moved here and it's closing down. How frustrating. But everything is on 50% discount. So a couple of books that I wanted that were going cheap I picked up. We have To Cage a God by Elizabeth May, and we have The Adventures of Amina Al-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. I've not read Elizabeth May before. I do want to read her romantasy that she has, but I know the synopsis of this one sounded really good. We have 2 sisters who have had the ancient gods like ground into their bones. I don't know if this is going to be 2 siblings on opposite sides of conflict, which is one of my favorite tropes. And then this one is the newest Shannon Chakraborty series. Shannon Chakraborty wrote the Dave Bird series, which is a series I've really loved, and this one is a piracy one, and I do like me some piracy when it's done well, and I trust that S.A. Chakraborty would do it well. And we're following like an older protagonist who had retired from piracy but then gets offered a job she can't really refuse. So I love the covers of these as well, and I'm really excited to get to all of these. So I've got quite a bit to keep me going. It means that then I don't have to unpack all of the boxes that I've got packed up, which is a shame in a way, because obviously there are books in there that I haven't read that I want to read, but it means that then when the boxes arrive, like I don't have to prioritize going through my books, and I can just read the ones that I've bought for now and get to those when I can. As you've seen, I have started Paladin's Strength. I am on page 118, and so far I am really liking this. Our female lead is pretty awesome. We just had a bit of a reveal about her, but I just really love that she's so capable. She kind of wants to prove herself. Like, she knows she's capable. She wants a circumstance to arise where she can prove to other people that she's capable, not because she needs external validation, but just so that people don't think that she's a burden. Like, people don't think that she can't do things for herself. Like, she wants a chance to prove it so people then just leave her be. And I really relate to that, which is really cool. I relate to this protagonist more than the protagonist in the first one. I find that T. Kingfisher does a really good job of chivalry. I struggle with a lot of like the way modern people do chivalry. I really like the way that T. Kingfisher does it because they're awkward dudes, but it's funny and it's entertaining, and they feel so human, and I love that. I have also been reading through Tessa Dare. I have started the Stud Club series, so I read the first Stud Club book and I gave it 3 stars. I liked it. It was not my favorite Tessa Dare, but it was fun. Not a hugely memorable one. The guy in this one reminds me of Simon from the first season of Bridgerton. Not necessarily in like story, just kind of in the way he is. Like, there's this very confident, flirty, sexy man who also is a bit standoffish and doesn't realize how standoffish they are and stuff. Like, there's overlap there. That's how I picture him anyway. He's okay. He's not a favorite of mine by a long stretch, and the protagonist was also okay, but I enjoyed my time with it while I was reading it, which is kind of what I want out of Tessa Dare books. I must say I am taking way too long with the second one. It's been on my ongoing since, I don't know, maybe at least 2 weeks now, which just isn't like me. I normally read them in a day, and I don't know if it's me or if it's the book. I've got a Tessa Dare book on the go. I am 20% in, and I still keep prioritizing this one instead. I genuinely don't know if it's the book or if it's me, because I'm not having problems with picking this one up. I'm having problems with time. Like, I don't have the time, but I've only owned this for like 2 days, and I have been reading it substantially quicker than picking up the Tessa Dare. But it also might be just now that my parents are gone and everything, I've got more time and I'm prioritizing this one for the book club. But I also am just like naturally gravitating towards this one more, so I don't know what's going on with that one, but that will probably be my ebook in the background for the time being. So yeah, a lot going on. I've moved country, I've bought some books, I've read some books. I don't think I have anything else hugely to update right now. We're not going into the castle. We've walked around the castle. The castle is quite expensive, and we're looking at getting a like historical membership pass, which is much cheaper in the long run. So we're looking at doing that. So until we've done that, we've not really decided to go into any of the places that are on there. We'll just wait until we've got the membership pass, and then we'll go in whenever we want. Basically just been to parks and then just kind of setting up the house. Really, there hasn't been a huge amount more. We've been out every single day. Like, there's not been a single day where we haven't been out at least once. Even when it was raining, we went out. We went to the library yesterday. We discovered our library. There's a kids summer reading program going on at the minute, which is so cute. And there's also, they're going to be hosting like kid events at the library over the summer as well, so that was really lovely. So yeah, lots of things have been going quite well so far, and I'm really glad that everything is kind of constantly proving us right, that this was definitely the right decision to make. Nothing really more to say at the moment. I guess I'll just now treat this like a normal reading vlog, and I will update you once I have made more progress in this, or if any particularly interesting life stuff begins to happen. I'm in a new country. I'm living my best life. I am so happy. I spent the first week nearly crying with happiness, like every day. We got a tour around the kids' school, and I had to force myself not to cry the entire time I was going around, because it was just everything I wanted it to be. And then when we went to the library, I also had a little bit of a cry. And like, all of these things that my kids can do and join in and participate with, it's just been stunning. Like, it's been everything that we wanted the city to be. And we've met a couple of people, and it's beautiful. I'm so glad that we are here. And the relief that comes with that has been really overwhelming, that, you know, we've done this big, massive change. It has been exactly what we wanted it to be. I will go and continue reading while I'm home alone for the first time. And once I have something noteworthy to say, I guess I will check back in. It's been a couple of days, so I thought I would check in. I appreciate it's still probably really echoey in here. The room is still quite empty. We're waiting for our stuff to arrive still. I have some stuff to check in about, so I thought I would. First of all, I am now about 3/4 of the way into Paladin's Strength, and I am really loving this one. I love our protagonist so much. She is just someone that she has a lot of like pent up things inside her, but also the way she projects it is very relatable to me. She's also a very strong character in a way that I really like. She's also very snarky. I love the humor in a T Kingfisher protagonist, I always do, and I always love me a T Kingfisher man. They are always so flawed, but they're done in a way that is not flawed in a toxic way. They are the romantic leads that we deserve. When you have a romantic lead that is this romantic, flawed, and has these issues and things they need to overcome that still make them like an interesting character without it being toxic and without them projecting that toxicity onto the female lead, is always fantastic. Love it. Having a great time. I also went to my local library again because we went to like an event that we're hosting for the kids, and we were just kind of sat there, and then I happened to see Hecate by Nikita Gill. And I've always wanted to try Nikita Gill, and this seemed like a perfect opportunity to do so because it was actually just on a display. And I had no intention of taking out any books just yet because, as you know, I've just bought this massive stack of books, so I really don't need this, but I started reading it while we were there, and I got a decent like ways in. I'm about 62 pages into this one, so I decided to check it out. Since I'd already started it, I figured I'd take it home. So this is my first library book. I'm not kidding you when I tell you that aside from my school library where I had assigned books, like books that I had to read for school, as far as I'm aware, I might have when I was a very small child, but as far as I'm aware, this is my first library book. Because of where I lived, where we literally had 2 shelves behind the post office, that was our library. And it was just Spanish classics. I've never had a proper library. So this is my first library book that I'm choosing to read, as opposed to it being necessary for school in some way, just choosing a book that I want to read. This is my first library book. I'm 31 years old. It feels so silly for this to be such an important thing, but it's like, it's so lovely because I'm part of a community now. I know that sounds so strange, but I'm really excited about it. I like the prose, well, it's not prose, it's verse. It's a novel told in verse. It's the story of Hecate, who is like a witch, basically one of the first witches from Greek mythology. I'm really excited to see how I fare with this. It's been a while since I've read a novel in verse, so I think that's going to be a lot of fun. So far, I've started this and I'm really excited to continue, and I've nearly finished this and I'm excited to continue. I've not made any progress with the Tessa Dare book. I just don't think that my head is in the space for that kind of romance. I think if I'm feeling romance at the minute, I might go romantasy with like a bit more, like or a bit heavier, I suppose, than what you get with a Regency romance. My options is this one, there's romantasy, which I might try next, but it does seem like it might be a bit light and comedic, which might not be where my brain is at, so maybe not. And if not, I've got both Feybound and Arcana Academy to jump into if I am feeling like I want more romance. I think that these will potentially hit that spot a bit better. I also have my book club pick for this month, which is The Wolf King, which is a reread for me. But last time I read it in about 6 hours. So I'm not particularly pressed. I'm sure I'll be able to fit it in. So my goal at the minute is to finish this one, continue to make a dent in this one. I've got up to 3 weeks that I can have this. I always thought it was 15 days. It's not, it's 3 weeks in our library. I don't know if that's the thing in Scotland or if that's a new thing. But yeah, I've got 3 weeks to read this. So again, not pressed, especially because it's in verse. So it doesn't take me very long. It took me about 20 minutes to read this. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. I should be able to get through these rather quickly. And then I guess I'll pick up one more book and then we'll, I guess, call this vlog a day. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I am here with an update because I've got books that I have read, books that I've finished, books that I'm still on the go with, and books I want to start. So we're going to go through those. My stuff arrived yesterday. So all of my books that I plan on keeping are now here. I don't think I'm going to be unboxing them. I don't think I'm going to be opening them at all while we're here. It depends on how long this stay ends up being, but for the time being, I'm not in a rush, even my unread ones, to open the boxes yet, because there's just no need for that kind of chaos. I will just kind of continue to read either the few books that I bought recently in the pile, or read ebooks, or read books from my library. Is my intention at the moment, instead of getting through all of these. But they are here, they're home, they're with me. But let's get into the things that I've been reading. So I did finish Paladin's Strength by T. Kingfisher. 4 stars, really enjoyed this. Fantastic addition to this series. I am so excited to continue on with this series, and the only reason I'm not jumping straight into the next one is because it is for my book club, and it seems a bit silly to try and get ahead, especially when I enjoy the process of chatting to people about the books. That's why I host a book club in the first place. And what's good about these is that while they do lead on from one another, so some of the plot threads from the first one do continue on in this book, they can be read in a way in a self-contained story. It means that then I don't need to remember a huge amount from the previous book, and the book does kind of help you along with that as well. I think it kind of understands that people do read these as standalones, and therefore they're not retaining the information in their brains the same way as you would if it were an ongoing series. So that helps, and it means that then I feel satisfied with the conclusion. I'm really excited to see what happens in the next one, but I loved Clara as a protagonist, and I think I will really miss her in the next one. And Ishvan is so far my favorite of the Paladins. I think the third one is following Galen though, who I also really like. So far, it's all been brilliant. As I said, love a T. Kingfisher man. This protagonist actually did feel a lot more distinctive compared to a lot of other T. Kingfisher protagonists, so I'm really glad that I had such a good time with this. Other thing that I've also finished is I did finish, I think it's Twice Tempted by a Rogue. I can't remember what it's called. The second Stud Club book by Tessa Dare. I think it's just gotten 3 stars. It feels more like a 2.5. If it were on Storygraph, I would give it a 2.5, but a 2 feels a little bit too low. So I've left it at 3. It's more like a 2.5. I did like it, but it just dragged a little bit. It was just very slow. And we also have a man who very much is not listening. And we have this being the kind of story where he's not listening, but it's good for her because she actually needs someone to step in and make her consider her needs for a second instead of the needs of everyone else. But a lot of the time, just it feels like a man that's not listening. That doesn't work for me. Don't get me wrong, a lot of these books are men coming in and saving women. Like, I understand that. Like, I'm not expecting Tessa Dare to reinvent the wheel with a Regency romance, but I would have preferred it if there had been a bit more of a conversation, I suppose, at times. But it was okay. I have one Tessa Dare full-length novel left, which is the last book in this series. I can't remember what it's called. The guy in that one, I couldn't stand him at all in the first one. He softens a smidgen in the second one, but I don't think I'm gonna like him. So this might end up being my lowest rated or my least favorite Tessa Dare series out of all the series that I've read so far. And then I'm gonna have to move on to Lisa Kleypas because it'll be all out of Tessa Dare. It was fine. I really have no further thoughts on it other than that it was aggressively fine. I am also nearly done with Hecate by Nikita Gill. I'm on part 3. So I've read 274 pages out of 384. So I have 110 pages left, which, given that it's written in verse, shouldn't take me too long, maybe a couple of days. I've been reading it so much slower pace than I normally do, which has actually been really nice because it's one less thing for me to think about when it comes to updates. It's just I don't need to update every day because I don't have an update's worth of things to say every day, which has been interesting. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I'm excited to finish this one. I'm liking it. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily new favorite territory. I need to own my own copy of it. I can't wait to read something else by this author. I'm liking it. I like reading about Hecate because she is someone that I find interesting, and I'm really loving the depictions that we have of the underworld. I also really love the depictions that we have of, for example, Hades in here. Hades in here, he's a very sympathetic character without being a romantic lead. Normally your options are villain or romantic lead or a combination of the two. right? And this one he's neither, because he's our protagonist's uncle. So we're just seeing a sympathetic outlook. He's not the villain. He's not necessarily the good guy. He's not the protagonist. He's not who the story is about. He's just someone she trusts, someone that took her in when she needed it. I like that. I like that depiction of him. As I said, I'm really liking the depiction of the underworld. I'm liking the way that all of the gods are coming across. We've had Hermes in here. He's one of everyone's favorite gods, right? He's the Loki of the Greek pantheon. He's always a lot of fun when he comes on page. I am enjoying it. I wouldn't say it's grabbing me in a way that's like, oh my god, I absolutely adore this. But that also might just be A, where I'm at, or B, that it's in verse, and verse sometimes doesn't work for me the way I would want it to, even if it's well written. It's still one that I'd recommend if you're wanting to read more about this specific goddess. I think my next physical read is probably going to be Feybound by Sarah El-Arifi. I can use this for our fantasy bingo, which is kind of the only real reason why I'm picking this one over Arcana Academy. I can't really use Arcana Academy for anything as far as I'm aware in our fantasy bingo, so I'd rather prioritize my our fantasy bingo books than try and just read another book for kicks and giggles, especially because like a lot of the ones I'm reading aren't working for anything. I mean, obviously this is a book club pick, but the Tessa Dare ones I've been reading aren't useful for anything, and neither is Hecate. It's just one that I fancied reading. Could use Hecate. I don't think I've encountered any humans. I don't know if gods count as humans. I don't think they count as humans. So I might be able to use Hecate for what I'm about to use Feybound for. I will double check, because there's been a lot of characters. I will double check. If there are no humans in here, I'll use Hecate, and then I can be released from this, and I can then choose based on what I fancy instead, which would be quite nice. And I'm also in the background now starting a different vlog. So we'll see how all of this pans out. It might just be that I end up not reading anything for this vlog and ending this very soon, basically as soon as I finish Hecate. We will see. If Hecate works for an Our Fantasy Bingo prompt, then I will just stop this vlog here. If it doesn't work for the Our Fantasy Bingo prompt, I will also pick up Feybound. So we'll see how I fare. Hey vlog, I am back because I have now finished Hecate, and I think I am going to stop this vlog here. One, because this does actually work for Our Fantasy Bingo, so I don't need to read Feybound at the moment. I don't need to read anything else for that, for any projects at the moment. And also because I am thinking of starting a different vlog, and I will probably be putting it in the place of one of my horror vlogs, on the basis that at the minute one of my horror vlogs requires me to buy 2 books, which is normally fine, but I did just want to buy things that I just want to buy and read things that I just want to read at the moment. I am in a live the moment kind of vibe going at the moment because of where I'm at in my life. And because I spent so long planning content and reading books for content the first half of the year and coordinating that accordingly, I'm actually really enjoying mood reading at the moment. I've decided that one of my horror vlogs is going to get postponed. I'm not going to completely abolish it because it's a vlog I'm really excited for. It's my cosmic horror vlog, which is supposed to be coming in August. And I'm really excited for the books on there, but I do need to purchase 2 of them. So I think I'll probably put those on like a Christmas list or something and just postpone that either later on into this year or more likely into the new year. I have gotten over the idea of like this vlog project is specifically for this year and cannot be completed any other time of the year. So for now, the cosmic horror is not being cancelled. Don't worry for anyone who was looking forward to that. I am just postponing it until it makes sense financially and until I'm in a better place to be doing that, to be doing a planned and scheduled reading vlog. So all of that spiel aside, I have finished Hecate and I did like this. I did really enjoy the conversation that it was having. I did enjoy reading her perspective. I did like the style of writing. It's not a new favorite. It's not one that I think I'm going to particularly carry with me. It's not one that I feel compelled to go buy my own personal copy of, but I am very glad to have read it. It's not one I have very huge accolades to say about it. I've read a lot of mythology retellings, especially in the Greco-Roman spaces. So again, it's not hugely new, I suppose. I mean, it is because it's in verse, and again, it's beautiful, and I would recommend if this is your thing. It's just that it doesn't really necessarily provide anything new to the myth itself. So she's someone you know about, you're not going to learn anything new. So it is solely for the experience of reading the story in this format, which I did enjoy, but again, it's not reinventing the wheel. So I'm really glad that I read it, and I'm really glad that my first, I think ever, library pick for pleasure has been enjoyable. So I'm really glad of that. I will be returning this to the library when we next go. We've my kids are doing a library challenge, so we will be taking it in whenever they go take theirs in, and I will see if I take something else out or if I just leave it for now. I'm really in a historical mood at the moment, so that's what I am leaning into. I did yesterday go pick up a couple of books. The first one is Claremont by Leslie McDowell, which is following Claire Claremont, who was the sister or stepsister of Mary Shelley. I believe the mother of Lord Byron's child, which may or may not be Ada Lovelace. I can't remember. But I'm really excited to get the perspective of someone observing this messy trio that was Mary and Percy Shelley, and then also Lord Byron. So I'm really excited for this one. I did pick it up from Oxfam, so it's a nice floppy edition, and it's historical, which, as I said, is what I'm leaning into at the moment. The other one that I picked up from Oxfam, which is one I had planned to order from the Waterstone site, and then this was in Oxfam in literally brand new condition, so I picked it up there instead, is A Curious History of Sex by Kate Lister. Kate Lister is a blogger, and she's also a university lecturer, I think in the University of Leeds. She also runs the podcast Betwixt the Sheets, which is one of History Hit's podcasts. It's my favorite of the History Hit podcasts, along with Gone Medieval, which is hosted by Eleanor Yaniger, who is my other favorite historian. So Kate Lister and Eleanor Yaniger are my favorite kind of like podcast historians. So I really wanted to get my hands on Kate Lister's books. She's just gotten another one out that is out currently in hardback that I'm really looking forward to getting to as well. But for now, I have picked up her older work, which is this one. This is the book that I basically have already started. I've just started it. So this is what's going to feature in the next vlog. It's just going to be me mood reading. It's not themed. It's not, oh, I'm going to read this genre or this vibe or anything like that. It might lean into one by accident, you know, when you get in the mood for reading something. But I will finish this and then I will pick up the next book that I want to read based on me wanting to read it. And that could be from the library. It could be that I go out and purchase something. It could be that I pick up one of the books I've already purchased, a digital book. I don't know. I am just mood reading and it's very freeing. So I'm very excited to get further into this one. So that is the end of this vlog. In this vlog, I have read twice Tempted by a Rogue, I think is what it's called. The Tessa Dare one, which I gave 2 stars. It was just not great. Like, it was fine. It took me too long to read. If a Tessa Dare book takes me more than 2 days to read, it's not grabbed me and I don't love it as much. It's just one of those things. I also finished Paladin's Strength, which I end up giving 4 stars, really loved, and it's my favorite of the 2 so far, but I loved that series and I had a great time with it, and I am super glad to have read it, and I'm looking forward to reading the next one. And then we also have Hecate, which again I enjoyed and I have given 3.5 stars. That is the end of the vlog. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you've read any of these and your thoughts on them. Let me know if based on my enjoyment of some of these, if you have any other recommendations. I would always love to know. What are you reading at the moment? And yeah, I will hopefully hear from you again soon. Bye!